Let's learn trigonometric graphs. Trigonometric graphs is one topic which many students find it difficult. But if you just understand the basic concept, it is pretty easy because all the questions which come in the leaving cert are variations of this, and there's nothing new which they can ask out of this. It's always the same concepts that they will ask again and again and again. So understand the basics which I'm going to teach you today. Maybe you can watch it once or twice or thrice and then do some sample questions and do some exam questions. You will be set for trigonometric graphs. Okay. Before we get into the trigonometric part of this graphic, I would like to explain certain keywords which are related to a graph. Suppose there's a graph. Okay, I am drawing a graph in a coordinate plane which is going like this. Forget about what kind of graph this is, forget about what this means, etc. Let's try to understand some concept. Now if you see this graph, it's starting from 0, it's going up, it's going down, it's coming to the 0 position, then it is going down in a negative side, and then it is going to the normal position. So if you see this line remains a middle point, or like it is like a point where everything is 0. Yeah, so this kind of point, this line or this particular line here, that is called the midline. Okay, so that is first concept what you have to learn. So that is called a midline of the graph. Suppose if you have a graph like this, and if this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, and if the graph is going like this, the midline will be somewhere here. Okay, so this is one important thing which you need to understand. The second thing is, from the middle line, the graph goes from the lowest point to the highest point. Yeah, so the distance, this distance, okay, the distance from the middle line to the topmost point, the maximum value of the graph, this is called amplitude. Okay, so there's two concepts here. First is the middle line, second one is the amplitude. Okay, the third point is, so you have an amplitude here on the positive side of the x-axis, and you have an amplitude here on the negative side of the x-axis. Yeah, this is also amplitude, but this is a negative side of that. Yeah, so this is the amplitude. Now the maximum value which you can get here, so which means it is that the maximum value, this is the maximum value which you can get for the graph. Yeah, and here you get, this is the minimum value which you can get for the graph. So minimum means it is this point. Yeah, so maximum is this point. So the maximum and the minimum. The difference between the maximum and the minimum, or how much distance this is, that is called the range. So remember, the range is always calculated on the y-axis. So the range, by definition, it tells that it is the interval on the y-axis from the lowest to the highest value. So suppose if this is -3 and if this is +3, the range is -3 to +3. Okay, so that is the range. Now the last thing is, it's a period. Okay, so its period means, as I said, this graph takes from 0 or the midpoint to the top, then it comes down here, then it takes a negative here, then it comes down. This completes one cycle of the graph. Again, it might repeat after this. Okay, it might go on like this. Okay, so we are not considering this, we are considering only one cycle of this, and the time it takes for that particular cycle, that is called period. Okay, so by definition, it is the shortest distance along the x-axis, after which the graph repeats itself. Okay, so these are the four things which you need to understand before we get into the trigonometric graph. So once again, middle line is the horizontal line which lies halfway between the highest and the lowest point. Amplitude is the distance between the midline and the maximum point. Range is the interval on the y-axis from the lowest to the highest value. And period is always calculated on the x-axis. It is the shortest distance after which the graph repeats itself. Okay, now this is a very basic concept. Now we will work on trigonometric graphs. So in Leaving Cert, the graphs which you need to learn is of sine, cos and tan. But majority of the questions comes with sine and cos in the Leaving Cert. I haven't seen questions being asked on the tan graph, but it's important that you need to you need to understand it, but focus more on the sine and the cos graph. Okay. There is a major difference between the sine and the cos graph. Okay, both are sinusoidal. Okay, first of all, let us understand the similarities. The sine and the cos curve is same. It is sinusoidal. Sinusoidal means it goes in this curvy pattern. Okay, so this is the sine curve and this is the cos curve. So the major difference, so this is the sine curve, this is the cos curve. Major difference is sine starts from 0, cos starts from 1. Okay, so as and when you get a graph, you check which graph it is. You identify whether it is a sine curve or a cos curve. Okay, sine starts at 0, cos starts at 1. Now the general formula of a graph is y is equal to a plus b sine cx. This is the general form of the graph. Okay, I will explain everything in detail. But if you have a general form of a graph that y is equal to a plus b sine x, there are five things which you need to learn. We need to memorize this. We need to make it thorough in your mind so that as and when you get a graph question, you will be able to find this out. Okay, so let's learn the first thing. Whenever you have a general form like this, y is equal to a is the midline. Okay. Second one, amplitude is modulus of b. So modulus of b is this one. Modulus of b will be the amplitude always. Why we take the modulus? Because we want to work on the positive number. The third is maximum value of the curve is a plus modulus of b. Okay, obviously midline is a, y is equal to a. So to find the maximum value, this is b. Okay, so maximum value is a plus modulus of b and min value is equal to a minus modulus of b. Then the fourth one is range is a minus modulus of b. Range always you put it in square bracket. A plus modulus of b. So it is from the minimum value to the maximum value is the range. And the fifth is period is 2 pi over c. C is the value here which comes over here. So 2 pi over c if it is in radians or 360 over c if it is in degrees. Okay. Please learn this off. It is very, very, very important. Please learn this off, memorize it off, do some questions. You're set for trigonometric graphs. Okay, y is equal to a is the midline, amplitude is modulus of b, max value is a plus b, a minus b, range is a minus modulus of b, a plus modulus of b, period is equal to 2 pi over c radians, so 360 over c degrees. Let's do one question. Y is equal to 5 plus 4 cos, 5 plus 4 sine 3x. So what I will do as soon as I get it, just because I need more practice, so I will write it as a plus b sine cx, or I can write this as a is equal to 5, b is equal to 4, c is equal to 3, just for my understanding. So what is the midline? Midline is y is equal to a, so y is equal to 5 is the midline. What is the amplitude? Amplitude is modulus of b, which is equal to modulus of 4, which is equal to 4. What is the max value? Max value is 5 plus modulus of 4, which is equal to 9. Min value is 5 minus modulus of 4, which is equal to 1. What is the range? Range is 1, 9, min value to maximum value. So it is like this. Then you have period. I assume this is in degrees. I'm sorry, in radians. So it is 2 pi over c, which is equal to 2 pi over 3 is the period. Simple as that. Yeah. Let me do one more question. Y is equal to minus 1 plus cos x over 2. So again, I will write it as y is equal to a plus b cos cx. Remember, sine and the cos, it's the same thing. Okay, there's no difference as such. So again, I will write this as a is equal to minus 1, b is equal to 4, c is equal to 1 over 2. Okay, that's something some people get confused. So if the midline will be y is equal to minus 1, midline equation. Okay, amplitude is modulus of b, which is equal to modulus of 4, which is 4. Min value or max value, let me just write the max value first. Max value is equal to minus 1 plus 4, which is equal to 3. Min value is equal to minus 1 minus 4, which is equal to minus 5. Range is equal to minus 5, 3. Period is equal to 2 pi over c, which is equal to 2 pi over 1 over 2, which is equal to 4 pi radians. As easy as that. Okay. Now, let me take a question from the exam. Sorry. Let me take an exam question. Sorry, I was not ready with that. Let me just quickly take one question and I will show you how easy it is to write the values. Okay. So let me just get the question here. Okay, before we get it, so what you can see with a similarity is like if you have something like y is equal to 2 plus 3 cos 5x. Okay, this is the way we write an equation. Okay, but you can write the same thing as f of x, because y is nothing but a function of x. So I can write this as 2 plus 3 cos 5x. Okay. Sometimes in your exam you can get something like f of t is equal to 2 plus 3 cos 5t. The letters can be different, or you can give something like they can give you something like h of t is equal to 2 plus 3 cos 5t. They can give you anything. Okay, or they can give you g of t is equal to minus 3.5 minus 4.2 cos 3.6 t. Anything. Okay, it's not okay, I'm not able to paste it, but I will show you one exam question. So this was a question which was there in 2024 mock paper 2. Okay, so the question was, they're talking about some tide or something like this, and the equation what they have given is h of t is equal to 7.5 minus 6.5 sine pi by 6t. This is what they have given, the equation. Okay, so as and when you see this, you should be able to recognize this is a sine curve and it just follows the equation what we have learned, which is a plus b sine c x. Okay, this is it. And if you want, you can write it down. A is equal to 7.5, B is equal to minus 6.5. Remember, you need to write it with a negative, and C will be equal to pi over 6. Okay, that's it. Once your half of the work is done. Okay, now if they're asking you to find, so in this question they have asked find the difference between the highest and the lowest watermark. So what does it mean, highest and the lowest watermark? So which means that, let me just show you in an example. So this is a sine curve and they're asking the difference between the highest and the lowest. So which means this is the range what they want, they're asking for. It's not the range exactly, but the length of the range. Okay, so you find the highest one, you find the lowest one, and then you add it together. So the highest one here, this one, amplitude, is nothing but modulus of b, which is equal to 6.5. Okay, this is b, modulus is 6.5, and this side also is 6.5. So the highest and the lowest watermark will be 6.5 plus 6.5, which will be 13. Okay. The second question is to find the period. How will you find the period? Period is equal to 2 pi over c, which is equal to 2 pi over 6, which is equal to 12 pi over pi, which is equal to 12. So you got the value over there also. Okay, so this is very easy. if you need to find out the values, um, find out the values of period, range, or amplitude and things like that. So sometimes they will directly ask you what is a period, what is the range. So then you have the formula, you remember the formula, you write our formula, and then you have the answers. Okay, but if you don't have the if they are not directly giving it, but we have to understand it from that, think about it. Like here they have asked highest and the lowest value. So there you can imagine that okay, it is a range. It's not the range actually, but the length between this side and this side is what they are asking. Okay. And now there's a second part of this question. Like usually they don't ask, but you can get a this one. So they will give you a graph like this. Okay, and maybe this is 2. So this is 2. Okay, this is 2 and this is minus 2, and this is pi by 2. This is pi, and that's it. Okay, and they ask us to write the equation of this graph. So now we know that the equation of the graph, okay, this is x-axis and this is y-axis. Now we know the equation of this sinusoidal graph is a plus b sine cx. Now we need to find out what is a, what is b, and what is c. We know the definitions. What is a? A is the midline. In this case, the midline is the x-axis. So y is equal to 0 is the midline. Okay. So y is equal to 0 is the midline. So a is equal to 0. That we found out. What is b? B is the amplitude. What is the amplitude here? The amplitude is equal to 2. So b is equal to 2 here. How will you find the period? Period is the distance from this to the final distance here, that is pi. So period, you know that 2 pi over c, that is the period. Period is equal to pi. Then you can find c from this one. So c is equal to 2 pi over pi, which is equal to 2. So we found out a, we found out b, we found out c. Then happily you can write it. You can write this as 0 plus 2 sine 2x. Okay, you have written the equation of this sinusoidal curve. It is as easy as this. So all drills down to learning the values, learning the things which I taught you, the 5 things which I taught you. That's the basic of this trigonometric graphs. Okay. Now, before I finish, let me tell you one more thing. What I explained here was a sinusoidal curve. If it is on the x-axis, if it is, general equation is y is equal to a plus b sine cx. Okay. If it is on the x-axis, if the midline is on the x-axis, the equation is just b sine cx. Okay, because a is equal to 0. But if it is somewhere other than the x-axis, okay, then and if this value is, as I said, 3 or something like this, then it will be, instead of a, it will be 3. So the equation will be y is equal to 3 plus b sine cx. B and c will have values. Currently, I don't have any values, but it will definitely have values. But the a is what the distance from the x-axis means about. Okay, so take some questions out of your textbook, try out these questions with this information in hand, and then work on the exam questions. It is in the part of trigonometry functions and identities. I'm sure you will be able to ace it. Okay, before, one more thing, if you need to work on the set of table of values, use the function in the calculator. So there are videos in YouTube to learn how to use the function calculator. Don't sit and do the values individually, but use the functions in the calculator and try to get the values together and then draw the graph. And maybe after drawing the graph, you might have to find some calculation. So please try this out. And if you need any help with trigonometric graph, please comment below. I will try to do more videos on this because it's such an easy topic which you learn. If you learn it, you will be able to ace it. Okay, so please try this.